Fungible idiots, don't you know? Banging our heads to the rhythm of the code. We don't care about dollars or the shiny blade. We're just holding to zero. It's our everyday. Round tripping positions, that's how we roll. We won't make a dollar, won't celebrate. We're the zero holders, our anthem we sing. Zero holders, our anthem we sing. Zero holders, we're the kings of the sea. The non-fungible idiots will live in the dream. We're all on the zero, it's our way to be. In the world of NFTs, we're wild and free.
Hey, and here we are, live with you beautiful motherfuckers again. Yet again. Happy Tuesday, mid-January. About to cook? You feel it?
Is this thing on?
You're good. You relocated to the shell. What'd you call it?
A
Called
hole?
it something just before.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
But
something.
I'll come. I'm gonna go back to my other spot here in just a bit.
All right. Well, you're good for now. You're good.
Yeah,
What up, man?
yeah,
Good to see you. Good to see you, Joe. How are you guys?
I'm all right, man.
Guys, what's your problem? I feel like you were gonna have a problem today already.
Me?
I kind of feel like it maybe stemmed from earlier. I don't know, but we can talk it out.
Did you guys get into some shit?
Yeah, I texted him or something like I forget what it was. Oh, you know what? You know what it was?
You can have it, bro. Honestly, I was totally fucking with you. You can have it. You can have it.
No, let's not even. I don't want to bring it up on the show because you gifted me something already. It's going to seem as if I'm a total.
Let's talk about it. Let's just talk about it.
Oh, did Joe?
Joe asked for.
I DM. Whoa. Can I say it? Just because you're gonna make me look like a fucking ass. Go ahead. You say it. You say it.
Let me just reference it.
Sure.
I think it was in Discord. Yep. And it was fair. What useless thing in my wallet? Oh, by the way, not hey guys, how's it going? What useless thing in my wallet would you trade the Mindful Minokawa for?
And the Mindful Minokawa, if you don't know, is since I work for VFriends, people know. I mean, I bring it up all the time, but I worked for VFriends primarily nepotism because I was really best friends with Gary in college, Gary Vaynerchuk. And so he gave me a job because I was kind of I was degenning out with these losers. He eventually, I feel awkward saying it, but he named an NFT character after me, I believe. So the Mindful Minokawa is based on me, I guess, as a person. I don't know. I feel weird even saying it. So anyway, the more awful part is that I don't even own one, right? Like I don't own the NFT that's based on me, which
Dick move.
There's multiple.
It must mean so much to you that you wanted to ask what the most useless thing in your wallet was that you could trade for it.
Well, I'm just saying that, like, no, okay, whatever. I'm just what I'm saying is, let's find. No, let's not even.
What's the floor on these things, Joe? Are they like 0.01 ETH?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, might as well do a little swap, swap, right? Like,
I got to insert in here. It is jointly owned. You
is.
have to win over both of us, by the way.
Yeah. We bought that for 0.6.
It was going to be so easy. It was going to be so easy, and then Hudah just injected himself.
No, we're not making this easy on
No. It wasn't going to be like, oh yeah, you know, it's yours. By the way, for what it's worth, I am totally fine with you having it. You have to convince Hudah.
Yeah. So.
Good luck.
Yeah. What do I say? I mean, so whatever. Let me just go back to my mindset on this thing which was the Mindful Minokawa based off of me. Now, one could say that I should just automatically own one, right? Like, hey, I worked for VFriends. The character was based on me. What kind of asshole runs that NFT project that doesn't give me one of them, right? Like, Deez gets an honorary goddamn NFT for every fucking project there is for free.
If you asked Gary, do you think he would just like sweep the floor for you and send you like, how many are there?
There's been multiple conversations we've had publicly most of the time. One being that he admitted that it was named after me, because I thought it was funny that, like, I was like, well, I'm not sure if it's named after me or whatever. It was. He said it. You know, that's great. He said it on like a podcast or something like that. I was like, okay. And then on top of that, I think he even said, oh, you'll get one or something like that at some point. Now, he's like the goddamn president of the United States. Getting him on the phone's like fucking getting Sean Penn or like, I don't know, Kim Kardashian on the phone, I'm assuming. It's like impossible, right? And you're not going to go around being like, hey, dude, you know that NFT that you said that I could have? You think I can have that?
Dude,
you know
I'll do it for you.
Yeah, you do it, dude. He's not going to respond to you either.
You think? What if I get Gary to respond? Be like, remember that Mindful Minokawa NFT you owe Joe?
Yeah, whatever, dude. My point
Would you
is,
care if I did it?
yeah, I probably would mind, but I'm not going to stop you. But my point is,
I won't do it. I don't want to
what
make you
kind
look
of
like you're more of a fuck.
What kind of asshole creates an NFT and doesn't give the goddamn thing to the person that it was named after?
Didn't he give you some? Didn't like, but not that one.
He did. Yes, he gave me more valuable ones. I can't even complain about that. That's what I'm saying. I can't complain.
Why didn't you sell one and then support your friend and buy one?
That's what I'm doing now. Okay. So anyway, whatever. So anyway, you wanted to hear something really bizarre?
Yeah.
When I worked for VFriends, loyalty was freaking first and foremost and like omnipresent forward always, right? Like I worked with a lot of like partnerships and things like that. And there were times in which I could have benefited from that, which I don't even know if it was like a negative thing if I did, right? But I said, no. If someone said, what's your wallet address? I said, no. They said, hey, would you like a no. Even people that I worked with was like, maybe we should. I was like, no. We are not even going to sniff some shit that could seem like favoritism. Period, point blank. I am like on it, like fucking like white on rice, right? So when I worked there, me owning one in my mind was almost like, I'm not going to take away from someone else so I can have. Does that make sense? Like I'm not like all the shit that I could have gotten there for free. Like, oh, maybe I could have got t-shirts. Maybe I could have got this. Maybe I could have got that. I'm not going to inquire about it because maybe someone else wanted that. And I did that to a fault, dude. I did that to a fault. So, my point being that like me getting one of the Mindful Minokawas, paying for it or whatever, I felt as if I couldn't try to do that because that's business and this is pleasure. You know what I'm saying? It's personal.
Yeah.
So I did that. And guess what? No one cared. No one would have minded and whatever. And now I look like the asshole that doesn't own one. Like what kind of jagoff doesn't buy their own one to support their friend, right? Like that's what you said. So whatever. Now I've gotten so far away from it at this point where I was like, you know what? They're cheap enough. I should be buying these things because it's named after me by my friend who made it after me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I looked here. I went to this floors. I was like, okay, 0.1, 0.11, 0.11. I think there's one that's like 1 ETH, right? And all of the rest are not for sale. And I was like, you know, like, okay, there's one that's like offers like for 0.06 or something like that. So I thought to myself, I know a couple of dumb fucking assholes that have one that might be nice enough to have a conversation with me. So what do? I go to my best friends in the whole entire Web3 space. And just like Gary Vaynerchuk, when I said he was my best friend in college, now you know what Gary says when he talks about like his best friends in college? He says, oh, Joe is my best friend for a certain time period.
Aww.
Right? It's kind of like you guys. Oh, yeah. Henry's like, oh, I got some Kong friends that are like, everyone moves on from Joe.
Whoa.
Everyone
Wait
moves
a
on
second.
to
This
go.
took a sad turn.
Okay. First off, Joe, that's not true. We're here every day for you. We support you. You met somebody I work with today. Sent you baby Kong the other day, and I am totally on board.
But you never
with
say I'm
giving
your best friend.
Joe. I would say you are pretty damn close to a very good
Ask
friend.
me who my best friends in Web3 are.
Oh, wait.
Just
If
ask
you're
me.
talking, you just made a different in Web3. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
Name
The
it.
three amigos.
Joe. Yeah, it's us three.
No.
It's
You
Joe.
ask me. You ask me.
Oh, Joe, who's your best Web3 friend?
You and Hudah. Period. Point blank. Done. Next
Yeah.
question. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
You. No. Hudah, who's your best friend in Web3?
You.
It's true.
Is that why we didn't talk for months upon months?
Because
you weren't in it.
you
Oh, hey.
you fucking left.
You weren't in it. You
By the way,
left,
Henry,
bro.
Hey, English, what's going on, English? Oh, what's up, Inverted? What's up, my Kong brothers and sisters? Where's
Here.
Joe in this equation?
We were asking the same thing. Where the fuck is Joe?
Where's
we
Joe?
say every day. Every
Boy,
goddamn
this
day,
has
where's Joe?
gotten completely off
All right.
track.
Couple things.
Can we just
First
send
off-
him the Minokawa?
Joe, Gary, like, kind of given, like, talk about the friendship in that way changes things a little.
Sure.
Like, I kind of thought we had Joe on here because he's best friends with Gary, but now we know it's a little different. Right? It's a little different. Best friends back in the day, also during those days for a little period of time. It's different.
I texted Gary today. How about that?
Okay. Did he answer?
I texted Gary today. Yes, he texted me back. And he complimented me.
Huh.
Yeah.
What did he
And
say?
your mindfulness?
Well, he didn't even respond to my mindfulness. I did text him about mindful, and I was like, "Hey, you know what I said? Oh,
Gary,
man,
would you give me one of those?
I hate talking about this because I can't lie and I can't like do whatever. And I joke all the time, and it does not. So yeah, I did say, hey, I said, you want to know what I said? Like,
Yeah,
want to know
do it. And then we got to get to a big story, but
Okay. Hold on.
Marty said he texted back an eggplant.
Okay. I said, someone wrote about like what's like V friends or whatever. And I said, I was looking at the Mindful Minokawas. Gary, what's the best one? I should read this before I write it. But what's the best one? I want an honorary one. I will never sell it. None of the Ida ones are for sale, which is Mount Ida is where we went to college.
Okay.
And there's a background that's the Mount Ida background. So I was like, oh, I want the Mount Ida one.
Is that right
No,
there?
no. Go up. I think I saw a mountain in one of them.
Do
No,
we
it's
have
Mount
that
Ida.
one?
It's like a campus.
No, we got a tree. We
Scroll
got
down.
Right
Scroll
there on the left. That's not a mountain behind the turkey.
No. Go
With
to
mushrooms? You guys do shrooms?
Go to
Or
the
vulture,
right. To
what
the
is
right.
it?
Click that because that looks like it, but I'm not positive it is. What's the background on it? Go.
Doesn't have one.
Well, if you go Mount Ida, there's on backgrounds. There's a Mount Ida one.
Gotcha.
Whatever. But and then I said, none of the Ida ones are for sale. I've waited long enough to not own myself. And he never responded. He never responded to that.
Damn.
But
He's
he
like
responded.
fucking
Dude.
grifter.
It's about to be a double whammy because, like, after hearing all that, there's almost no way I would give you this thing. It's fucking insane, dude.
Really?
I
Why?
can't.
Why? Why? What about it? Is it just like now that I want one, you're like, I can't fulfill that? Or like, what do you think? Keep going.
I can't tell yet. I got to let this settle. I don't know if it's a power thing or
Yeah.
if it's just you snooze, you lose, or
Yeah,
it was
I hear
so
you.
sad. I just don't even want
Yeah,
to
like
touch
it's
it.
so sad. It's such a
I'm
fucking
not
sad
sure.
story.
We'll figure it out. What a story, dude. Jesus.
Hold on. Keep going.
I don't see that trait anywhere.
Mount Ida, right there.
Oh,
So that was, Mount Ida.
That is pretty cool. There's only 4 of them?
I guess.
Pretty rare.
Yeah, none of them are for sale, dude. None of them.
Throw
for
him
sale.
some offers, dude.
I was thinking about it.
Point
I was
one.
thinking about it. But anyway, so that's the story. So I thought to myself, I told my wife, I was like, hey, listen, you know what? It would be nice if I got to the point where I could go after trying to buy every single one of them. And then my wife was like, yeah, that should be our financial goals there. which, you know, I was like, okay, I'm getting shit from everybody now. But yeah, I mean, because 0.1, you know, 0.1 is not expensive, but you know, I was like, oh, you know, I thought like right now, I was like, oh, that might be a good time to try to get some on the low. So
we can chat. We can probably wheel and deal. Probably.
Well, because there's not much in the wallet that's like, I either have expensive or I've got like a couple, like I was thinking like art blocks, something like that, or there's the Renfall or whatever. I forget which one, but there's the guy that does all that crazy like shit that did a couple of editions that is 0.3, 0.2 Punks comic. I don't know if I want to sell that, but that's
definitely want to sell that.
No.
Garbage.
Well, yeah. Okay. So anyway, that was the story. I don't know how we got off on this. It's 15 minutes into the show. Let's get off of it. So anyway, but the whole point of that was, so I wrote to Henry.
Oh my God.
I wrote to Henry that what did I say? I said,
you wanted the thing,
what?
and Henry
You said, what useless thing in my wallet could I trade for
the Mindful Minokawa? And what did you say?
Would
you like me to say it?
I said,
here's what you said: would burn it before ever trading it with you, but we could start with your 2 elementals. That's what he wrote to me.
Yeah,
I
did say that, but I was joking.
Yes, he was joking. I mean, you would never know that he was joking.
You would know.
Yes. So anyway, that was that. He was rude to me today. Absolutely.
So almost 20 minutes later, we get why Joe started the show with the face and a look.
I'm sorry. Yeah, exactly. Apologies.
Now we fucking know.
Sorry, guys.
So good. So good. All right. No, we should probably come back to that. But there's some big shit going on, Joe. It's something that you actually got us started on. You pointed out a few days ago. You fucking know.
Who's plugged in, baby?
Joe is the most plugged in. By the way, I'm just peeking at Chaos. Someone in chat was talking about Chaos, asking thoughts on it. Really fucking like it. I will come back to this because I do want to talk AI agents at some point. But there's so much to fucking talk about today.
Yeah,
Starting with kind of breaking news an hour or two ago, 4 hours ago. Breaking news 4 hours ago. Strong rumors circulating that Yuga Labs is maybe selling their CryptoPunks IP. What? Dude, that's what. Okay, now I think back to Whale, who pointed this out. Joe, you saw it last week. Whale said there's something happening. It's huge, and I don't know if it's bullish or bearish. I don't know, but it's fucking big.
Well, they flourish to move in everything. Yes. So not to toot my own horn, baby. Toot, toot. But last week, I've been saying this month has been going to be kind of kooky with all the things that have been percolating and simmering up and down, all that stuff. And I pointed out, on top of all the airdrops and the things like that, that whale.mocha. Am I boring, Henry? I'm sorry. Unfucking real. Okay, anyway. I don't know if I could talk any more excited, by the way.
Just do it.
So anyway, last week I pointed out that Mocha, whale.mocha, was saying that there was something huge percolating, and it seems as if today was the day that it was broke, that it was the CryptoPunks might be bought by an entity that is not a Web3, project. Yep. So,
and not even Web 2. Like, what does it feel like he's talking about? Because first off, this is fucking big. Yuga bought a CryptoPunks IP for Henry. What was it last cycle? 50 mil?
75? I thought 75 mil, somewhere around there.
Okay.
I might be wrong on that.
And they fumbled it the whole fucking past few years, like the book and the not Punks World, super cool Punks World thing. It's like just everything they do, and all everybody said is, don't do anything with them, leave them alone. You know, yeah. And maybe at this point with Garga at the helm, who I think is great, they're like, you know what, we can't do anything with it. I agree with the people. Why the fuck do we hold them then if we can't ever do anything with them, right? And so this makes a fuck ton of sense. Get rid of them. Just dump them. Maybe make your money back. Maybe even sell them at a loss. But that's kind of a doing the right thing. It's like giving it back to the punks community, right? So, Joe, I read that.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'll read the tweet in case people can't see, but this is whale.mocha, like Joe's saying here, saying, I'm now confident enough to share it with y'all after hearing it from several sources close to the matter. Yuga Labs might be in the process of selling the CryptoPunks IP. They bought the IP plus more than 400 CryptoPunk NFTs, also about 1,000 V1 punks from Larva Labs back in March 2022. Don't know who the buyer is. It's not a major Web2 brand. It's not an existing NFT company. Leads me to think it's some big punk holders, or it's going to be maybe a punk DAO. I think it's going to be some community members that are buying it. My guess. What do you think, Joe?
I think that, like, first of all, sure. Thank you for saying that I've bring a lot of value to the show and that I'm really plugged in and that, you know, that I added awesome.
Wait,
did
I
say all that?
Did I say it, or should I have said it?
You said it. If you didn't say it, you should have. But anyway, I think that I think the trouble is now that, like, people have been making jokes about it, right? Like, oh, Seed Phrase and, you know, Wiz are going to be buying it together or whatever. So I don't know, but here's what I would say. Going back to the original tweet that he talked about and him discussing it, he was saying that there was some good news and some bad with this. Now, I'm not sure if the good news is that it's being sold and the bad news is who it's being sold by or something like that. But there could potentially be something to that we're not quite aware of yet, right? So maybe it could be, I don't know. I'm not sure what the FUD is.
I can't picture what a bad thing would be.
It could just be.
I could picture plenty of things, but I read that as just them being sold. People might perceive as bad. And,
yes, and absolutely. That the good news is that it's being sold to people that might do nothing with it, and the bad news is that the fucking Yuga is doing something dumb again, right? Like, that's kind of what it could be. But all I'm saying is I'm adding a little bit of fuel to that fire. But like I said, it probably is a grouping of people that are purchasing it. But you know what? It also, not to FUD Yuga. If you're not going to do something with it, if you're going to, like, let the community be such strong dictators of what you're going to do with that IP, why buy it to begin with? Like, have the balls to say, I'm going to do something with it and fuck everybody else.
No. Don't do anything with it.
I'm saying, sure, if that's what they were originally going to do, but now they're saying, oh, we're not going to be able to do anything because the community doesn't want us, then what's the point of having it? We might as well sell it. My point is, you bought it. You should have had a fucking idea what to do with it and not let anybody get in the way of it. That's a strong leader, what a strong leader should do, and what a strong brand should do when purchasing a fucking IP that's that valuable, dude. That's what I'm saying.
I always thought that, like, purchasing Larva Labs was like status symbol above anything else. It's just status. Like, we own punks, we own Meebits. You could do something with Meebits, but, like, we're not going to touch the brand of punks. They are icons in their own right. They need nothing. You know, some of the things they did were funky, but I looked at it like the biggest flex you could ever make. We own punks.
I'm with you.
If they sell it, and especially if they sell it for profit, okay. I'm going down a rabbit hole a little bit because I haven't even put much thought into this, but if they're selling it and they're making profit on it, does that say something about the health of the ecosystem and the treasury? I have no idea where they're at, but is it like, hey, we could 2x here, we could use 75 million? I have no idea what they're selling.
I think I've heard them make comments about their money and say that how much they have of it. I'd be surprised. That's one of those I wouldn't. I don't know. It would be pretty surprising if they ran out, and also you could see it, I guess.
They had massive treasury, but also massive burn rate for a while. Like, they had 200 something employees. I got to imagine their burn rate on a monthly basis had to be. It wouldn't surprise me if they were burning well over 7 figures a month, like well over. Not to mention, you know, the IP licensing that they've probably done. So. Maybe it's just like a smart business move. Like, hey, we can make a quick 30 mil, 40 mil, 50 mil. Who knows? And since we're not doing anything with it anyway, like, if we're not doing anything with it, like, it's appreciated in value, let's just sell it.
Yep. And I looked at it even back then, you're right. I think, like, the status symbol thing, and I also looked at it back then as like a gesture to the community, and it was them signaling their culture guys too. Like, they're the NFT guys, they get it, and they're going to just shepherd them and not do shit. That's what I really thought they were going to do, is take them, let a Web3 brand own them, and then they would never be touched. I thought that's what they do. And maybe this is them doing the exact same. It's just, again, it's a gesture to the community to say who they really are. And they got away from that for years, but kind of feels like maybe Yuga's back to their roots.
Joe,
I hope.
Joe, do you know who Terry Pagula is? No, he's the owner of the Bills and the Sabres.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's why
I know that I've heard you talk about him a bunch.
yeah, so like there have been clips of like, okay, so after like a big game, right?
Yeah.
Sabres or Bills, let's just say like after a big game, and you see like the team rah-rahing in the locker room and they're all excited. And then sometimes you see like, and there's Terry Pagula. And the thing is, in the end, he owns the team, right? And it doesn't fit sometimes. You look at the image of it and you're like, no, you don't belong there. Like, yes, you own the team, but like, let the team do its thing. You just look like the guy who doesn't belong that paid to be there. And that's sometimes how the Yuga Larva Labs thing feels. Like, yeah, it is a flex and it is worth a lot of money. Culturally, it just never felt like it was like peanut butter and jelly.
Well, by the way, and now that you said Pagula, yeah, when you mentioned Pagula, we got into a big fight about how the guy drinking with Pagula was told to buy the Bills by some random guy that was drinking with him one night. And I was and you were trying to say that guy does not deserve any of the credit for the success the Bills had, but Pagula does. That whatever. Anyway.
Oh, okay. Fair.
It was a weird thing that we talked about. But
yeah.
Can I just say this? This reeks to me of a bunch of guys that had no idea what the fuck they were doing. They had no plan. They had nothing going on that they shouldn't have bought. It seemed like it was just a bunch of fucking idiots that were like, we've got so much money that we don't know what to do with it. Let's just buy this. Let's not have any ideas about it. The ideas will come to us in the future. And guess what? None of the ideas were strong, good, or happened in the future. The only idea was, let's sell it for a profit. Now, I'm glad if they do sell it for a profit, but all they've been doing at this point is taking all the things that they've done and unwinding it at this point.
Yeah. Question.
Yeah.
Well, do either of you guys think they went into buying punks? This is not what you said exactly. It got me thinking, though. Do you think at all they went into buying punks to resell it, to buy them, and then they would assume it goes up and they flip it in a few years? Like maybe that was a part of the plan?
Be smart if it was. Well, I mean, if it's it's like the ultimate trade, right? It's just if you've got the kind of like money and leverage to be able to buy an entire IP and brand, you could argue like if they went into it thinking it would appreciate and one day they could sell it and they're like, cool, we know we can't do anything with it. We know the community doesn't want us to. Let's 2x our money or whatever, let's make 20% on our money and make 15 million bucks. Like awesome. It's a smart business move.
A smart business move would be having an idea of what the business is going to be doing. So they're not just having to sell off and leverage all the shit that they're doing. It scares me that they just don't have any vision of what's happening anymore. Like,
well, it's also smart to realize when you fucked it up and to correct it, right?
Yes. I think I'm just saying that like it's scaring me that they don't necessarily have some grand scheme that they want to accomplish as a business.
8chain is really good evidence of that too. Even them coming out and launching Top Trader, which I think is neat, and then coming out and saying we're going to keep doing it, new products every 6 to 8 weeks, right? And there's been nothing since Top Trader, nothing. I don't think they have a plan. I don't.
Yeah, because it's a deep conversation. This is like a fireside. Grab a beer or a joint and talk about Web3 because
shouldn't they have done that though? Shouldn't they have locked themselves in a room and said, even if here's what happened. Holy fuck. Our NFT project just went fucking parabolic. We won the lottery at this point, and we have no real idea of what the future holds. Let's lock ourselves in a room to decide what the best ideas are. If we need to find some people that are smart, let's find them to bring them into our little huddle here and figure out a plan. Like, you can't write a story without figuring out what the plot points are going to be.
They did that. I think they did exactly that, and they probably were not the people to be doing that. They did nothing good. They got the team together. They're like, we'll hire the best people. We're going to build a metaverse. And part of that was like, we're going to hire, because we don't have the devs, let's hire all these gaming guys to build out the metaverse, and separately we'll push on art through CryptoPunks. We'll do that. And they thought they had the ideas, and it turns out they were wrong. And it's fair to say most people misjudged this space and where to build and what people will care about and what you can do to actually grow it and bring in money. Most people got it wrong because nothing works, especially when the market turns. Nothing works. But to that point, I hope they recognize they're not making good decisions, and it's just like, let's just stop making decisions.
When the royalties went away, the business went away.
Yes, sir.
Yep. We said back in the beginning, like, they lack the culture. They do. By the way, like, whatever status they held, Pudgy's overtook it from them.
Yeah, definitely.
The Pudgy's never strong in their branding.
Yeah, but there's a major difference. Like, Yuga, I think, was never a reflection of Web3. I think there was the people that owned apes they extracted, which, by the way, is completely normal. But it never felt like Yuga, especially when Gordon and Garga took a step back.
Yep.
It never felt like they understood the culture. And I think what you were left with was a company filled with corporate people who understood Web 2, probably wanted to try to take this to the masses somehow. And the thing is, they are probably the worst people to guide a Web 3 project. And so when they sat in a room, and I bet they did for hours, days on end, the things they came up with were just kind of lackluster. Cool. Some of the things they did were cool, right? They did a partnership with BMW where they did that, like, one of one BMW. They have Grape that they've done a couple collabs with. Like, they've done cool stuff with Web 2, big Web 2 brands. But in the end, nobody cares, because what they care about is, what can this thing get me? And that thing is cool until this thing doesn't get me anything anymore. And then I'm going to go to the thing that gets me something. And I'm going to rotate out of this into that. Maybe I'll keep one because I am sentimental to it. But the space is shallow, and what it appreciates is liquidity events. And that's why people chase from Pudgy's, which are still going through a liquidity event, over to Doodles, over to Izuki. And in the end, almost all of these charts will still be top left to bottom right. They just will be, because that's how it works. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with one cycle from now, a year from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, them reinventing themselves and doing something new that's in the meta to try to bring the chart back up to the top left. I think this is a little bit of the name of the game, is trying to stay relevant and, please your holders and try to build. And it's tough because there's not a lot of cool shit out there.
Yeah. Sure, they can reinvent themselves. How about this? Figure out what the fuck you're doing first. Have a plan here, bro.
It's not so simple, man, because you can figure out what you're doing. You can actually release some cool stuff. But if that cool stuff you release does not equate to money in people's pockets, they don't care. They don't really care.
Because you're very Web3. You're talking as if everything is going to be revolving around the Web3 sort of thing. First, I wanted to talk on the CEOs. If you want to know who's the most uncreative people that will create a vision for where to go forward that's not created yet, a CEO that you hire that came from wherever is not going to provide that. They step in and start to run things as if, like, the business aspect of it. So a lot of these projects hired CEOs. I don't know the Cool Cats people. I don't know all that stuff. All I know is I think that a lot of them got rid of those CEOs, which says a lot about that, right? The creative aspect of it, the branding and where these projects are going, they came from Web3, so they have to deal with the degen price go up people. But what they should have been doing is, how do we sustain this and grow it to a really cool business that's Web3 origins, but going forward, it's going to be good. And I think Pudgy's did a really good job of that. They got all the people that minted, they're taken care of right now. That fucking coin did a lot. Now, if
Yuga did that too.
They did.
They just yeah. It's not new. It's not new.
But it's a step, is my point. That's why.
Yeah, but hang real tight or real quick. It's not a unique step. So, like, really what Pudgy is doing is really what Yuga did to a certain degree
my
2.5 years ago.
You're right. But Pudgy does seem to have a stronger vision of what they're doing going forward. It feels as if the leader has ideas of what he wants to do, where the Yuga leaders bought a whole bunch of shit that they probably shouldn't have bought, and now are just selling off everything.
But it's not because they didn't have an idea or plan. They did. They were just bad ideas and plans. Again,
Oh,
everything with the CryptoPunks,
don't know
bad
that.
ideas. Handing the
Didn't-
metaverse off to David
Creating a
Allegre, bad
coffee
idea.
book, creating a coffee book isn't a plan for a fucking business that has to do with the goddamn fucking CryptoPunk. It's a collaboration. That's what I'm saying. That's a Web3 collaboration. Hey, who are we gonna get together and do a fucking Web3 with? Not getting it into Walmart, getting billions of gifts and things like that, and becoming part of like the world's fabric. You know what I mean? Not just Web3 shit.
I think a lot of these CEOs, CBOs, are hired with these bigger companies for their Rolodex. It's not like, hey, it's like, who do you have contacts and connections to, and how can you help us? And I think for a while, like, keep in mind, like, a lot of this stuff takes, for sure a year, if not a year and a half to 2 years to implement. So like you bring somebody on in 22, you think that you're playing the meta right then, trying to become a brand, you're collabing, you're trying to partner with major names, thinking that's where the space is going, not realizing that in 2024, the actual cycle that's coming back is nothing more than shitcoins and sort of the Murad theory. So the thing is, all those things you're potentially building towards, and no doubt that they've got things in their pipeline that probably just aren't ready to go right now because it's not the right time. But you build these things, you put money into it, you got that Rolodex, then you're like, oh wait, nobody cares. And they took an early bet in the metaverse too. Kongs did it. Yuga did it. Everybody thought in that early cycle that that's where things were going to go. Could cycle back.
They were relying on other things. Can I just talk for 15 minutes by myself and no one saying anything? Is that cool?
Yeah. Kind of did that.
I'm only kidding. I'm kidding. No, but no. But I do want to say that looking at, and I don't want to like fluff the pudgy penguins or anything like that, but I want to just make a difference.
I think you might want to. I think you're about to
fluff them and show them how Yuga hasn't done that. Pudgies did whatever they needed to do with the community NFT part of it. Then they found alternative revenue, which was by selling millions of their plushies in Walmart and all these other stores that they survived without the need for royalties.
No. Wait. That's a major assumption that Pudgies released thousands of toys and that was a revenue stream for them. I would assume it wasn't. I would assume that they have not made actual net revenue off of their toys. I talked to somebody who said they cleared out a store, I can't remember which one it was, in Canada at 70% off. Hoping that some of what they were buying is going to qualify for the token drop. So I wouldn't assume that like Pudgy toys were, oh gosh, we made a lot of revenue. I think it's a loss leader.
Come up with the facts for me then, bud. All right. All I'm
No,
saying is,
but I don't have them.
They said that they sold. They said that I think that I've heard that they've sold millions of them and have made millions of dollars with that.
Did they
it
say
also
that?
cost that to, yeah, I think they did. There were some like loose numbers, but it probably cost them a little something, maybe a lot of something to actually get those in stores. I think. I don't know how that works exactly. And Henry, you probably know a bit more.
Okay, let's just assume. In my assumption is that they've created an alternative revenue stream other than royalties. Okay, at least there's an argument to be made that like when you think of that compared to Yuga, what's Yuga's?
Yeah, what is Yuga's?
Well, it was gaming.
It
was gaming, and
what's the game that they've been selling?
Well, that's the point. They had multiple games: Legends of the Mara, the Dookie Dash game, the Other Side Metaverse. There's a heavy metal. They had a ton of games, and they sold them all.
But then they probably took a major bet on Ape Chain, right? Like Ape Chain was going to be a revenue driver for them. I assume that's sort of like in their meetings. They're like, okay, we need to focus on more degen stuff. Let's go Ape Chain.
So what they did was you could say that people enjoy buying them in Walmart, that they are a big thing. I've seen Pudgies around me, which is like, I don't know. It is a thing. Okay. On top of that, they took care of their NFT holders by dropping this coin. Like you said, Yuga did that as well, which I think is important. It shows that there's not a need to sell, because basically if you bought one, it's been paid for at this point. On top of that, they encourage people to not dump the floors and sell their coin because Abstract is coming next. So they've basically elongated and shown strategy on what you should do during these systems. They're extending. They're taking care of the dumping and the floor. Like if you look at Azuki, after their announcement, their floors are lower now. With Pudgy, it grinded up even now. So just saying that they've strategically done a really good job with that, despite having all the same things going on with the anime chain. With that going forward, their blockchain does seem to have an interesting idea, which I think could potentially show the future being a viable source of a big deal going forward, that it could be a game changer going forward. I know I'm jumping the gun on it, but I'm just saying that lineup seems to make sense to me in a mind of a business guy. Creatively, revenue-wise, all that seems to be strategic. You look at Yuga, it looks like a clusterfuck of guys just making a lot of money and then just trying to see what the hell's like, just shooting shots everywhere, no real focus, no real anything. That's my take on it. I could be wrong. No alternative revenue streams, no strategy going forward, buying things and then selling it a year or two later. If you're going to buy something, have an idea of what you're going to do with it, dude. They've done nothing with Meebits. There was tweets about them saying, all I do is stay up at night thinking about Meebits. They've done nothing with it. Nothing.
Yep. Yeah. Those needed other side. They needed it. Nothing happened with other side. Nothing. Yeah. No, all really good points. And we'll see if they turn that around later this year. The other side metaverse is live, persistent metaverse. And that's when, man, if they don't deliver, then I'm legit worried about them. The community, though, likes this. Pretty fucking obviously. Seed phrase, that's the tweet. CryptoPunks heart. I think I just, I said it earlier. If I were betting, I'm betting punks are being sold to probably like Seed Phrase and a group of big time collectors. Seed Phrase owns the rarest CryptoPunk in the collection. He's got a lot of money. So my guess is it's going to a group like that. But man, punk sales ripping, dude, like ripping. 27 sales, I think, so far today. And this is something we always watch for. We talk about this on all, like, whenever we get into the NFT market and for like leading indicators that it's going to run, it's punk sales and it's X copy sales. And here we got the punk sales. 26 sales in the past 24 hours. Most of those are probably very current, like within the past few hours. So punk season's on. Saigar saying exactly that too. CryptoPunks resurgence signals the start of the golden bull, and it feels like that. This is one of those things that can really kick things into another gear. So looking forward to that. V1 Punks gonna cook. If CryptoPunks cook, V1 Punks are gonna follow. They are. I mean, everybody knows that. This is very obvious, but these little guys at 3 ETH haven't moved yet, and I think they will pretty fucking soon here. But there's Punks right now, 41 ETH floor, up somewhere 10, 12% today. Nice. We'll see if they get a little more momentum here, but it's a big story. It's one of those big things you don't really. It's not on your bingo card for the cycle, and it can change things.
And it is a rumor at this point too. So
it's a great point.
You know what I mean, like it's a rumor at this point. So we'll see what happens.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah.
What if Whale got it wrong?
Boy, if he did, that's gonna suck.
He mentioned that. I'm gonna pull up his tweet, but.
Yeah, I'm glad. Are you going to bring up Trump saying what he said today too?
I don't know what he said. I don't think I got one thing bookmarked, but I don't know if it's the thing you're thinking of.
Well, yeah. Why don't you pull up Will?
I'll bring up the Trump thing in a minute. By the way, I did sit outside last night, in case anybody's wondering.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't know if I saw anything. Although I noticed there's a fuck ton of satellites up there, like way more than I thought. Dude, you ever just stare up at the sky at night and like.
I love it.
First off, how mad does it make you that we don't see stars really anymore? Unless, Henry, you might in the middle of nowhere.
If I'm at my shop, there's like no light pollution. It's great. Back at home, it's suburbs, so it's better than being in a city. But yeah, honestly, dude, nothing better when I was in the Coast Guard than like being on a cutter in the middle of nowhere, and you just see the sky in like a whole different way.
It's
pretty
crazy,
awesome.
Right? Like you can't even describe it to somebody if they hadn't seen it. It's like you feel like you're in outer space or something.
Do you remember? And I'm kind of curious because you did this too when we were kids. Mark Tigerman.
Yeah.
He worked for Booz Allen, big defense contractor, was in the Air Force, helped build the Hubble telescope. And he used to take us outside a lot and would like point stuff out, satellites. There weren't nearly as many, point out constellations. It got me fascinated in astronomy, just like such a it's so cool.
When you were in
Yeah.
the Coast Guard and you went on those ships out in the, because a couple of things, I had a bunch of performer friends that would go on these cruise ships and perform, and they would be like, dude, just being out in the middle of the water and there's nothing around forever was a very weird feeling. Like, you know, I mean, as beautiful as the sky will be, it's also a little bit daunting that, like, what happens, you know what I mean, if something goes wrong. Did you ever like swim or in the ocean, like?
Yeah, we do.
Insane.
So every deployment you do, like they call it Steel Beach. So basically, like they just anchor the cutter. One of the gunner's mates like sits on the flying bridge with like an M16, and they just they lower the ladders, and you can just go out swimming. It literally in the middle of nowhere.
And when Henry was out in the middle of nowhere, he saw the fucking orbs.
I did.
He saw one.
I did.
Which is
I did.
awesome.
Like,
So
true story. So
I tried summoning last night. I sat out there. My kids think I'm fucking nuts. I told them ahead of time so they wouldn't. Just so you.
It was freezing.
It was so cold, dude. I made it like 10 minutes. So I'm gonna try again tonight. It's colder, but I sat there and I just like tried to like tell them I just wanted to say hello and I'm ready.
Yeah. Private chat is where I put the link to what I was talking
Oh, cool
about.
shit. But yeah, there's so many satellites up there, dude. It's like the whole sky's moving. It's crazy. Or it was orbs.
Yeah.
It could have been that. By the way, there was like we thought, getting into the conspiracy theory shit just for a quick minute, but like Stephen Greer said that we're gonna have some kind of disclosure coming before Trump's in office. Like special forces dudes are about to like blow the lid off some crazy stuff, this anti-gravitational propulsion stuff. And one of the guys who was a whistleblower was the Tesla dude from the Trump Hotel Cybertruck thing. It's a whole separate guy that this morning interview dropped, and he's talking about the same stuff. He's a Green Beret. Henry sent me the link this morning. It's Green Beret talked about these gravitational propulsion stuff, these floaty orbs that we have at this Air Force base, some gauntlet that has like this weird hologram that projects off it, like crazy shit.
somebody died trying to retrieve it. That was in the story. This gauntlet, like whoever tried to retrieve it was killed.
Yeah. Dude, I hope we got more disclosures by next week too. And Trump said he's going to tell us what the drone shit was too when he's in office. So crazy stuff. All right, Joe's Trump story. This is cool. Leak reveals imminent Trump game changer, 100 trillion Bitcoin price predicted.
Crazy.
What's the catalyst in this?
The catalyst is basically he said that he's got a bunch of crypto people in his office that they've made it a priority. And that Saylor was saying that 5 million per Bitcoin is the price point if they're able to get rid of the SAB 121, which is the bank thing that we all discussed. That banks are going to be able to have that not disclosed or something to that effect. The other two were ETFs and something else that already has happened. So he's saying a lot of the executive orders are going to be these types of things that are going to catapult to 100 trillion Bitcoin prices, not per Bitcoin, but what the market cap, or I don't know what it is, but something to that effect. That would be a 5 million per Bitcoin price prediction. So
I love it.
Super, and it's in Forbes. I mean, it's in Forbes. There's a lot. The Washington Post posted this yesterday. So these are legit things.
Dude, I'm pumped. And I think we talked about it yesterday. I think so. Tyler had retweeted one of those stories of Trump executive orders, whatever, and saying it's not priced in. I'm with him. I don't think it's priced in. And yet the market looking pretty fucking decent. 96K Bitcoin, touched 97 yesterday. But it is looking good. We had PPI numbers today. CPI is tomorrow. So today's the producer price index. Numbers weren't awesome, which is opposite of what we saw last week. Last week we had a good jobs report, more jobs. It wasn't good for the price of crypto. Today, the opposite, inflation or prices up, bullish for crypto. But it's because it makes you think that interest rate cuts actually might be on the way, right? So
they were up. Good. They were up, but they weren't. They didn't meet expectations. So I think that means that it's almost the best of both worlds. That they were showing that inflation is still there, but it's not quite as gnarly as it may have been showing, which means that there should be 1 to 2 rate cuts next year, which is bullish.
And then tomorrow's the real deal breaker. Basically, it's CPI. If CPI reflects the same thing as in things getting more pricey for all of us guys, then maybe we get those rate cuts. And I don't know if that's January that they would announce rate cuts. I don't know when. Maybe it's every month there's the opportunity. I don't know. I think that's how it works. But it could be really, really fucking bullish for for Bitcoin. And this dude's going to get in office and be a fucking maniac. This story today, this is the Trump thing I had. But there's all kinds of changes coming everywhere in ways that I don't think we can even guess now. But Trump's saying we've relied on taxing the people of the United States for far too long. And he's not saying like that's ever going to stop, but he's launching the External Revenue Service to collect money from the outside and maybe ease the burden here a bit. But whatever, the point of that is just to say, expect the unexpected over the next 4 years, maybe, but especially at the start, and expect it to get pretty volatile here in crypto. And usually it means we get some nice opportunities too. So, dude, wild shit. Wild stuff. Let me see what else we got to hit because we are getting towards the end here. Dude, I did talk about runes and ME this morning, and it feels like we got a cycle heading back to meme coins. It just feels like it's starting, right? AI's kind of bounced back today quite a bit. 15 bill or so market cap from like low 11s yesterday. But meme coins, I'm feeling people, I'm seeing people talking about it. Are you guys feeling that energy shifting back there? You feeling it yet or not quite? Are you tempted to get back in the trenches?
No. Is AI still a thing? I don't know. No, I'm not. I mean, honestly, I'm really just kind of waiting for Trump to just go ham on crypto stuff. Like, I really think that that's the catalyst for the next sort of like, the rain just to fucking explode at this point. The dam to be bursting at that point. Like right now, there's these cracks happening, and we're excited by these little cracks, but like, I do think that I want there to just be the fucking dam breaking at this time. And so I don't feel comfortable yet making any definitive committed moves on meme coins yet. I don't know.
The kind of guy though that wants to be looking early, like be there ahead of that dam breaking and catch that flood. Yo, Henry, you're muted.
Sorry, muted myself. Yeah, I mean, I think if you have conviction in what this cycle has the potential to be, which I think is runes, I think have shown like they have their little cycles. They're like cycles within the cycle. So like if you want to play some really solid plays, you can ride the peaks and valleys over there. Dog, 800 to $1 billion, and then it'll come back down. What is it? 5, 6? Yeah, there we go. Like that is an easy 2x in my mind. That's an easy 2x. But there's plenty of others, Pups and Gizmo. So it's like if you have conviction in those chains, it's a great time to buy. I'm thinking of scooping another Node Monk right now because I'm like, my conviction is that these things are going to work when the cycle hits over there because nobody's talking about it. Same goes for AI meme coins. I'm like, that is this cycle. Yes, there will be other components of the cycle. We've got TGEs for big projects, but like AI, I think is going to hit. I mean, I think it's going to hit so hard this cycle. And I think there's going to be, you've got Abstract coming out, which by the way, Abstract to me feels a little bit Blast-ish from the standpoint of like, I remember the hype. I think we talked about this maybe end of last week, early this week. I remember the hype with Blast. You had like Blastopians and was it Blast Snipers? And it was like, oh my gosh, I got a whitelist for this project on Blast, and everything felt like it should cook, and a couple did, and then nobody even cares. I don't think Abstract will quite be that, but I think we're going to get saturated with a lot of projects, whitelists. Some will cook, most won't. But like I'm just bullish on Barachain right now. And I think I'm bullish on Barachain. I faded Barachain because I stopped farming it at the beginning because it was hard. I like the community. I just think they got good vibes over there. It's fun. I like things that are slept on by the majority of people because ultimately when they're bored with that shiny thing that everybody's looking at, which right now is Abstract, right now is anime, then I think they start looking for those opportunities a little bit later than we've been looking. And they're like, cool, I'm going to go play over here. And I think that's AI. I think it's Ordals and Runes, probably some legacy NFT projects. And I'm excited. Like the chain I'm most excited about is Barachain. No lie. And I'm not just saying that because I've got some exposure there. It feels fun. I like when degens want to build shit because they just get it in a different way. So
there's
good time to buy.
Vibe, dude. There's definitely a vibe on Barachain. I'm feeling something there. The the wrapping up like a Rune Magic Eden thing. The reason I'm like extra bullish on it, like I've been bullish regardless, right, on ordinals and runes and then at ME, but like the reason I'm giga bullish on it is that like that person's tweet, Sabrina, like replying to that tweet saying, Dex, where'd you read that? Like people still don't know. I would bet you half the people out there have no idea that Magic Eden is launching a whole separate Dex. I don't think they know. I don't think they're pricing ME as if it's a Dex. I don't think people are factoring that in. If Magic Eden becomes a real Dex that competes with the big boys, and that runes are their biggest offering, and that runes get a new kind of exposure because of it, I don't think anybody. I don't think enough people are considering it, and those prices feels like free money.
Meme coins, all this stuff. It's about timing with everything. And so like if you ask me like, oh, today I saw someone say, oh, unicorn fart dust is like cooking, right? But it depends on when you buy it. Like if you've already bought it, like you guys have bought a bunch of ordinals and minted a whole bunch of stuff and bought it at like the peak bottom type situations. Like a lot of people got in at dog when it was a bill, you know what I mean? Like 100 or whatever, like, and they're taking losses right now. And so going in now doesn't necessarily seem like the smartest idea. So I'm kind of looking at like, what are the things that are not cooked yet that I can get in that on the ground floor, because all those things are not like, if I bought a fucking puppet a month ago, I'd be fucking pissed. And now
but like the cycle hasn't come yet. Like if you had one Bitcoin, right? If you had a full chip and you're like, I want to spend this on something that I am pretty certain that at the end of this year is going to be worth, like, if you're not playing things super hard, you're like, I don't want to spread this out. I'm pretty confident that that one Bitcoin in dog will make you more money than that one Bitcoin sitting in your wallet. Bitcoin goes to like 140 this cycle. Cool. That Bitcoin on one pump with dog is going to be 2 Bitcoin. It just is. Dog has hit 900 million, twice? 3 times now?
What is it at now?
520?
Yep.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What happens if someone bought it at 9 and now it's at 520 and now they've got to wait till it goes back up to 9 and then it's got to exceed that even more?
Yeah, it's part of it. If you bought the top, if you bought the top, then you're in a different position. What we're talking about is what does it look like right now?
Timing is very important, I think, with a lot of these things.
It's the most important thing with all of these things. Like,
I know
down.
what I'm saying. Hudah saying like, is meme coin season back and are you feeling it? Is what I'm saying is that like a lot of the ones that are out right now that are established, I wouldn't necessarily suggest going in if you've already gone in before. I would just say that like I'm looking for like the Barachains, like the abstract, which there's chances that if they do really well, then you're at the ground floor rather than the other ones.
Well, both of those are the same thing. Getting in early to Barachain because not a lot of people are focused, or getting into memes when they're down bad. Yeah. If it's all about timing, I mean, it's kind of
what's AI 16Z at right now?
It was at 1.4 bill today or something like that. 1.3 bill.
So they got V2 of Eliza coming this week, which has some really cool shit, like modular agents. I think it's like tacking on different like trainings that you can unplug and have it kind of unlearn something. I think that's what that meant. It was pretty cool. This is a big update coming. This is fucking cool too, by the way. Here we go. Franklin Templeton published a report on AI agents today, which, I mean, I'm sorry, it's super bullish. This emerging sector may hold significant promise and is worth watching closely as it evolves and matures. Yeah. And they drop GOAT, and they drop these tokens, like just big time stuff, big time stuff. AIXBT, I think, got back to like maybe a 600 mil market cap today, like cooked. And I think something's playing out that we've been watching for, which is maybe a consolidation into the top tier AI coins. And then we'll have another FOMO season of it where everything pumps. But there's going to be a period, we might be watching it now, where it's the biggest, best ones outpace the rest for a bit at least. So, I think, Henry, to your point about AI being the biggest thing, I thought Ordinals runes would be the biggest thing this cycle. I don't anymore. I think it's going to be fucking huge, but I think it's the AI stuff. It blows away everything probably combined.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's an AI cycle, but I do think ordinals and runes are still going to... Ordinals, definitely. Runes, yes. Do I think runes are going to hit the kind of market caps of like Solana shitters and EVM. Maybe not. I still think there's action there. Like there's, I say, fairly predictable actions on runes. Like when they run, they run. You may get 3, 4, 5, 6 days out of it, and then it pulls back.
But
But
any of these generational wealth opportunities, though, like, are any of these? You're talking about these AI coins, and you're talking about runes and stuff like that. Are any are the established ones right now the generational wealth, or is that just it'll do pretty well compared to the majors that are out now, or the ones that we should be looking for that create generational, the ones that are going to be coming out next?
Well, so it's a good question. It's all the above too, but I think, look, I think you'll get into NFTs on certain chains, and you're going to find your 2x's, your 5x's, some 10x's, like you'll see that. And I think you see the same thing in meme coins, and I think you also see your 100x's and 2 and 300x. Like meme coins gives a different kind of opportunity, whether it's AI or whatever sector in fungible tokens, whatever chain. The gains you see over there are different. They're different. Yeah, it's for me, it's hard to ignore that shit. Like
I had bags in ARC. Graphane.
Ooh, dude, ARC is on fire today, especially after a tweet from Saigar saying they're going to be on Abstract, and ARC is going. Oh no, well that's fine if you're up, but
I wasn't up. My point was with all of these is that like they basically just been chopping at the same price points forever. So like I bought Unicorn Fart Dust at 150, like one of the first days. Now it's basically at that again. Like it just none of them seem like that amazing to me at this point.
Yeah, Unicorn Fart Dust 236 now. I mean, it's
Goat's 340. Isn't that crazy?
Goat's a fucking crazy opportunity. Goat's
low,
dude. That has me feeling a kind of way. ARC is at 330. This will be $1 billion plus.
It's at 330. It's just not my thing. Meme coins are not my thing. I suck at it. I buy at the top, sell at the bottom. Can't fuck with it.
I think you like legacy ETH NFTs.
Yep,
that come with airdrops.
NFTs are fun, and they feel different, and the pace is different. I really like NFTs, and I prefer it. I prefer the NFT kind of trading stuff to.
I sold one of my elementals because I felt I had too much exposure, and it was not looking good. They made their token announcement. Floor prices have been going lower and lower and lower even before some of the announcements. So I don't know what that means. I still held on to one of them, but like it's not the same vibes that Pudgy had or anything like that.
No.
Doodles is catching some fucking fire too. Wow. Yeah, I do like legacy ETH because I like the provenance translating to meme coins being rewarded to them. I think,
and that's probably your best, your most knowledgeable out of any of this stuff is like the OG stuff, the established stuff. Like that better than anybody. That's your shit. So it makes sense that that's what you're playing and you're strongest in. It makes a ton of sense. And then honestly, whitelist season I think is the easiest thing to play for. Just you got NFTs, you're probably gonna get whitelist opportunities. People make a lot of money on new mints. DXNK was a free mint today. It cooked. It got to like 0.3 something. Very exclusive mint, Pudgy holders, Azuki holders, top tier projects, and only like 2,000 or 3,000 mints total. So, but it's great seeing mints pop off like that. That's a great sign. Any other little?
Did you need like Pudgies, like with little Pudgies involved or no?
I think not. I think it was big Pudgies. I think.
Okay.
So it was like the top tier. It would I don't think it's a good collection either. I think it's like bad art, and I think it's just gimmicky. It's offer it to the biggest, wealthiest communities, make it tiny, so even amongst them, there's a little FOMO between them, and make it free. Like, how does that fail? It can't. So, so there they are. And then last update I have, at least, Nifty Islands. Allowing people to plug in their AI agents, I think starting next week. And we're going to see a fuck ton of that. Every chain, every metaverse, everything, AI agents all over the metaverse. That meta is coming really fucking. It's here. It's
OSF had a really cool post today talking about like AI agents and actually like seeing what they do. Because I know that I've kind of flooded a lot of the AI being like it's just chatbots and like it's probably just a dude behind the like responding, pretending to be a fucking computer. So he actually had some really cool things to be like, here's what it looks like. You know what I mean? And I think that's important for people to actually see that this stuff is real. And that it's something to like have confidence in. As basic as that is, I needed that. I need that type of shit. Like believing anybody in this space is really hard. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
seeing it is believing it a lot of times.
It's a very good point, man.
Yeah.
All right, boys. There we go. Another banger in the bag. Spicy fucking story with the punks. I can't wait to see how that plays out. Won't be shocked to wake up to official news. So we'll keep our eyes on that.
You know what? I should probably beg Gary for CryptoPunk. Maybe
I text. Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna go about the Mindful Minute. I texted him about that. I actually did. So
thank you.
We'll see how that goes.
Thank you.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, he'll love that.
Guys, I hope you have an excellent night. I'll see you tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., 9 a.m. Eastern time right here. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon. Guys, we'll fucking see you.
We're the non-fungible idiots, don't you know? Banging our heads to the rhythm of the code. We don't care about dollars or the shiny blade. We're just holding to zero. It's our everyday. Round tripping positions, that's how we roll. We won't make $1, won't celebrate. We're the zero holders, our anthem we sing. Zero holders, our anthem we sing. Zero holders, we're the kings of the sea. The non-fungible idiots who live in the tree. We're all on the zeros, our way to be. In the world of NFTs, we're wild and free.
Man, Henry, you had such a brutal drive in. You got that heading home too?
There was an accident, so they had the highway. It's funny, dude. Like right in the middle of the Lake Effect snow band, there was an accident. So it was literally just being in the middle of a snow globe for 3 hours or whatever.
That sucks.
Yeah, but part of it was kind of just like, I'm in the middle of a snowstorm and traffic's not moving. So hopefully on the way home, I just drive through it versus it being closed.
Yeah. I hope so for you, man. Did you see
Yeah.
Gensler said he never said that Bitcoin or ETH were a security? He didn't say ETH was a security.
He didn't say Bitcoin was. He always had the position that the CFTC said it's a commodity, but ETH. I mean, they sued ETH, right? Or weren't? Yeah,
I thought so. After the merge,
not sufficiently decentralized enough to be a commodity or not a security. But yeah, he's an idiot.
6 days to go, 5 days to go for this fuck.
Yeah, Monday, and then one of the other ones is this Friday. So
He also said something about gold today, didn't he? Like that it was, relatable to gold that Bitcoin was in some sort of interview or something like that. I don't know.
Yep.
Man, can't wait
Okay.
to see what the first executive orders are.
Oh yeah, I'm so
I
excited.
hope he throws in something stupid in there.
Yeah, he's got to.
Yes.
There's got to be something stupid.
Yep.
All right, I got to fly just because I got to finish some stuff before I head home.
Cool. All right, boys.
All right,
Have a
love
great
dudes.
night, fellas.
Yeah.
Yep.
Henry,
Yep.
what's up, man? Are we gonna have this conversation? What's so fucking funny?
No.
Are we gonna have this conversation? No. He's fucking asshole.
Did he leave? He fucking did it. He
Fucking
pulled the
did,
joke.
dude. You wanted to talk to him about the Mindful Minokawa.
No. I hope we get that fixed for you. See you guys. Goodbye, guys.
Yeah, I need that shit, dude. I need that. I need to own one. It's based off of me.